What's up guys, Woody here, back with another Mythgard video, and this is a video that was highly requested after my previous new to Mythgard video where we spoke about must-craft mythics. Not surprising really, many people want to know what are the must-craft rares, because as you know this game, or maybe you don't know this game, maybe this is the first video you've seen based around Mythgard, but you do get quite a lot of wild cards. You can pull them from packs, you can get them from map rewards. And the wild cards that come in rare form, people are very much asking, well, what do I craft? What do I spend either my wild cards on or my essence on to craft when it comes to rares? And rares are arguably, I wouldn't say more important than mythics, but they can be a lot more, they can be more important than mythics. And let me explain that in terms of mythics, you can run one copy in the deck. And mythics are expensive, so especially new players, even like mid-veteran players, if you don't mind me saying that, aren't going to have tons and tons of mythics. I think I own about 50% of the mythics so far, and that's someone who's put money into the game, who's given the partner packs, and who has played a lot of the game already. So I'd expect other people maybe have 10% of the mythics. Rares are a lot easier to acquire in terms of essence costs. They're a lot easier to find in packs because you're guaranteed a rare every pack. So you have a lot more chance of fleshing out your rare collection, meaning competitive decks can evolve around these rare cards. Now I've gone again for 3 from each faction. Now the way I've done this one here, I've cheated on a couple of colours. I've cheated on a couple of colours, and I hope people don't mind, in terms of I've kind of given 2 choices for one selection because they're very much based on playstyle, so it's a subjective opinion in saying, well, this is just the best rare in this colour. Whereas there are some cases that is the case. Blue, for example, that probably is the case. But there are other colours where, well, if I want to play control, this is better. If I want to go mid-range, this is better. If I want to go aggro, this is better. So that's kind of the route I've gone down. I've gone for a bit of versatility. But yeah, I will quickly say, if you're thinking, wow, cool, rare video, great. Now what I want, commons and uncommons, don't worry, by the end of the weekend, guys, there will be a must-craft commons and uncommons for each faction, and we'll again do 3 for each one. But yeah, let's dive into our rares. So kicking us off first, we go exactly as we did with the mythics, we go down in order. Blues, okay, so what is the first blue rare I want you to craft, I recommend you crafting, and that's going to be Fosgrim, okay? Fosgrim over here. Now, I slept on this card for a long time. I didn't play this card for a lot. First of all, I read it and was like, other friendly minions have a free move action. Yeah, that's fine. 3 mana, 2 blue. I mean, it's 3/4, so as a body, it's pretty solid. 4 removal on, health of 4, removing that on curve on turn 3 isn't exactly easy. 3 power is substantial. Wait, it has regen 1. But if you actually think about its awaken ability, meaning when you play the card, this can set up for defense. So let's say I'm not running Impel with the power. I can play this, I can move blockers across, I can move chump blockers across. This can set up for like a big play. Let's say I can play a card, I can then move a minion to a lane that means I can get breach ability on it. So this necessarily isn't an on-curve card. And by that I mean it's not necessarily a card you're playing turn 3, because you might only have 1, maybe 2 minions on the board. This is maybe more of a, let's go for lethal. Let's drop this card, and now I can move 1 minion far right. I can move another minion far left. They both now got breach. And maybe it puts my opponent on 2 or 3 health and really puts the pressure on for next turn. And that is all because I can play Fosgrim. Now I've dictated the player. I've forced them to play my next minions in lanes they maybe don't want to play them in. I've forced them to go wide maybe. I've forced them to come in narrow. And that's what Fosgrim can bring. The regen 1 as well is great, and like I said, a 3/4 body is pretty solid. It's a card I definitely recommend you experimenting with and playing with, because it can open up game-winning opportunities. There's absolutely no denying that. Next we're going to go to possibly the best, arguably one of the best rares in the game. I would argue probably the best rare in blue, and that is Thunderclap. So Thunderclap, deal 2 damage to your opponent and all enemy minions. This card is insane. It's so good. Basically, what this means is none of your side get damaged. 2 damage to everyone on your opponent's side, including them. If you play this on curve on turn 4, I've played this against like a red-orange deck. And if anyone's played red-orange decks, you'll know that they're very good at keeping cards in hand. They have lots of token minions out. By that I mean they have lots of minions with 1 health, 2 health, spamming across the board. By turn 4, they can have a full board effectively of just minions just all over the shop. Thunderclap literally wipes that board and does 2 damage to the face. Meaning I opened up, not only have I just done 2 damage to the face and cleared the board, I've now opened up a full range of breach abilities. This can also be set up working with Feign, which is a common we're going to look at in the next video. Whereas whenever a minion dies, you fully heal. Maybe Feign can swing at someone to do 2 damage to them, they stay alive, then you drop Thunderclap, you've now killed the opposing minion, and Feign is fully healed. Like, it's such a good card. Out of all the blues, this would be the first rare I would say go and craft. Thunderclap will go in pretty much any blue deck you run, and I honestly mean that. It's such a good rare. And the next one we're going to, there was a few choices here. We're going to go with Cataclysm. I could have gone with some others, but the others are quite situational, like Singing Stone and Earthside are based on you're playing enchantments, and new players probably won't dabble around with enchantments first. Road Queen's based on Valkyries. All Father's Horn's amazing, but it's quite situational. Cataclysm is basically a Thunderclap on steroids. Deal 5 damage to all minions and players. So be warned, you will take 5 damage when you play this card. The reason I recommend this card is it's one of the best board clears in the game. It's not the best board clear in the game because we'll get to that one next, but this is one of the best board clears in the game. You drop this, let's say your opponent's got 5 minions down, they've got 1 card in hand. You've only got 1 minion down, but you've got 4 cards in hand. You probably haven't got enough mana to be blocking all of their minions. Drop Cataclysm. It potentially wipes their board, wipes the whole board. Going into next turn now, they're going to draw a card. So they're going to have 2 cards in hand. You're going to draw a card. You're going to have 5 cards in hand. You have card advantage. There's no board advantage because you're now in a very good position. Cataclysm can win you games. It can actually win you games in terms of you can just grind them down to 5 health. Maybe you're on 6 health and being really memey. And then you can throw down Cataclysm and be like, oh, I win by 1 health. Side note, I was playing with Morpheus in 2v2. If you play Cataclysm in 2v2, because there's 2 people on a team, it does 10 damage to the face. It does 5 damage across the whole board, and then 10 damage to the face. This card's nuts. If you're playing 2v2, I'd say this is a must-bloody play card in 2v2. But it's a very good rare. It's not the best rare. You do take damage off of it, but in terms of board clear, in terms of control, in terms of being able to just reset the board, it's probably one of the best cards in the game. Not the best because it gets that card, in my opinion, in a minute. But that's blues for you guys. Okay, so quick roundup on blues. We have Fosgrim, we have Thunderclap, where's it gone there? And we have Cataclysm. Moving on to some yellow. Now I struggle with yellow, I'm not going to lie, because cards I like playing aren't necessarily the best rare cards, so I'm not going to recommend all the cards I like playing. I like playing Gem Cutter Spider. It's not a beginner friendly card in terms of it's fine. It's not a card I would say throw out straight away, like learn to play straight away, because to get full value on it, you're playing a tricolor deck. It's not something I recommend new players to check out straight away. But cards we have gone for, kicking us off is Clay Effigy. Now this again for new players, especially new players to CCG, they might look at this and go, create a 0/1 statue in any player's unoccupied lane and draw a card. What's the point of that? That's just nonsense. Yes, potentially it is nonsense because you're not actually gaining anything good from it. Your minion hasn't got any power, any strength. It's only got 1 health. What's the hell's the point of this card? 2 big points to this card. 1, this can be used as a chump blocker. Let's say they've got a card down, it hasn't got overrun. It's got like an 8/8 damage on it. You need to just survive a turn. Drop this in front of it. They now have to hit this. You don't take any damage of it, but more importantly, you draw a card. On the flip side of that, let's say you're running something like a Llama's Ring. Oh no, sorry. Let's say something like your opponent is looking to set up a big play. They're playing minions and they've played a minion and they're looking to play something next to it. Okay, or they've played an enchantment and they want to drop a big minion on it, or it's Junkyard Valhalla. So if unoccupied, bring a minion back to the bottom minion in your Boneyard back to Junkyard Valhalla. Kind of like a reanimate enchantment. Well, I'll tell you what, just drop Clay Effigy on it. Now it's occupied, so nothing's going to come back. It doesn't gain any power, so there's a 0/1 on their side. They're not going to kill their own unit unless they're running certain cards that can kill their own units. So now you just shut down Junkyard Valhalla. And you're drawing a card off of it, which is crazy good. Crazy, crazy good. This card it's not the easiest to learn to use at first, but it's definitely a card. Even if you just play it on your side for the card draw, it's worthwhile. It's a free play. It's a 1-cost card that you're drawing a card off. So it's potentially finding a card to burn, finding a card to play. Next up, in my opinion, the best board removal in the whole game. This does affect yourself as well, and that is Misrantopia. I'm so bad at saying these names in this game. Give all minions Blight free. Some of you new to the game might go, what on earth is Blight free? Blight free is very important to remember. It is not damage, okay? So Blight free means that at the start of each player's turn, so the start of your turn and the start of the opponent's turn, all minions affected by Blight will take -3 health, -3 attack. Now that isn't damage, it is a status. Meaning, let's say there's a 7/7 on your opponent's side. You play this, at the start of their turn they go to a 4/4. They can't heal it back to a 7/7 or heal it back to 7 health. It is now just a 4/4. The next turn it will go to a 1/1. If it has 3 health at the end of the next turn, it will just die because the health will reset to 0. If it has 4 health but 3 attack for any reason, then it will go to 0 attack, 1 health. It is a status, it is not damage. That is very, very important to remember, because so many people I see or watch on stream misplay because they feel like Blight is damage, and it's not damage, it is a status. But anyway, this wipes the board no matter what. It doesn't wipe a board instantaneously. The reason I think it is better than Cataclysm is Cataclysm does 5 damage. If you're playing at the end of a big game, like you're both playing Ramp or Reanimate or something like that, you can have minions that are a lot bigger than that. Also, you can have warded minions, meaning they don't take damage from Cataclysm. Warded doesn't protect you against Blight because, again, it isn't damage. So Blight goes through warded. So it basically wipes board. It doesn't wipe it instantaneously. The longest it will take is normally 3 turns. After 3 turns, the board just goes. You can play this straight away, and then you can start playing minions after. Because if you play minions after playing Misrantopia, then they aren't affected by the Blight. The Blight effect's done. You can then start playing minions and start setting up your play and watch your opponent's minions just slowly disappear. It's an incredibly good card. If you're playing Control, it's a must-play card. Guaranteed about that. I've lost games because people have just... I've had a perfectly set up a board over 7 turns. Someone's dropped this card and I'm like, I can't win now. I have 1 card left in hand because I spent all my resources setting a board up, and now I lose. Frustrating, but it's a Control card. It's kind of what you expect. The next one I'm going to go for here was, I was tempted to go for something like Alarm Ring. Alarm Ring's great. It's you can use it in any deck pretty much. You just give your minions 1/1. But we're actually going to go for Harvester, because Harvester's 6 health. It's 6 mana. It is 3 gem cost to get out. So if you're playing duo color, it's fine. If you're playing tricolor, it's going to be harder to get out. But anyway, this card is big. It's a 6/6 body. It has a great awaken ability where you gain 3 life. You play this towards the end of the game, you gain 3 life. That 3 life can be huge. And then when they remove it, you draw a card. Now, if people don't know in this game, card advantage, cards in hand are so important. Harvester can help you keep cards in hand, can help you keep advantage over your opponent. It's a massive, massive card. It's a really good card. It's a card, if anyone's playing mono yellow, I'd say definitely throw it in there. If anyone's playing yellow with a splash of another colour, I definitely recommend checking Harvester out. It can be a good endgame card. It's a threat at 6/6 that your opponent's going to be like, wow, I need to deal with this card. They deal with the card though, you're getting a card back, unless they banish you, of course. But moving on to red. Now red, again, red on the surface, especially for new players, go, oh, red must mean aggro. And yeah, there's definitely a part of that applies in Mythgard, but there's also a lot of it that, no, that's not just the case. Red can be mid-range, it can also be a little bit control-y as well, which is kind of cool. And the first card we're going to go for is a control card, and that's Extract Life. Now, I will please remember, guys, this is 3 red gems. The amount of times I've tried to play this on 2 red gems, nope, it's 3 red gems. Now, Extract Life has a Captain America shield, as I always like to refer to it, in the corner because it depends on your mana you spend. So, costs all your remaining mana to deal that much damage to a minion, granting you equal life. Now remember, this isn't destroy a minion. So let's say that they've played a Harvester. Let's set this up, okay? They've played Harvester, and they've got a 6/6 on the board. You're only on turn, or you're now on turn 6. Now you could, if you wanted to, play this straight away with your 6 mana. It would take all your mana and 3 red gems, and it would destroy Harvester, and it would give you 6 life back, okay? However, you could, if you go, actually, do you know what? I want to set up for the next turn. So you might have a 2/2 unit on the board. You might play Firesong Prodigy. So then you've spent 2 mana and you've got an Ignition in hand to then spend the remaining 4 mana with Extract Life to do 4 damage to Harvester, get 4 life back, and then ping with a 2/2 to trade to then get the kill. Maybe maybe that's what you want to do. You're setting up for next turn. You've covered another blocker with the 2/2, and you used a 4 mana. You cannot choose. Oh, I'll use the 4 mana first and then play Firesong Prodigy. It is a case of no. You must. Whatever you play this card on, it will take the rest of your mana. Please remember that, guys. I had a real tough time in the next one. I'm not going to lie. There were 3 cards I was going to go for like the mid-range rare red card, and I'll go through all of them and I'll go through my pick at the end depending on your situation. So Firesong Prodigy is a great card. Adds the ignition to your hand. It can be slowish in aggro decks, but if you're playing mid-range decks or control versions, it's very, very good. Dashing Ringmaster is an aggro card. You play it on turn 3. All minions are created with 4 or less strength get rush. Like, it's insane, okay? This gets rush, this gets rush, this gets rush, this gets rush, this gets rush. Like, it's just insane. It's crazy the amount of cards that can get rush off Dashing Ringmaster. The issue with the card is it has 1 health. It can easily be removed, and it has to survive. And the other thing I was torn between is Shopworn Ball. Shopworn Ball is a very, very good card. It has 5 health, so it stays around for a little bit normally. You don't have to have any setup for this. Just draw a card and then pick a card to put back into your deck. It adds consistency to your deck. Now, here's my picks. This, if you want to play mid-range, Firesong Prodigy. If you want to play aggro, I'd go Dashing Ringmaster. The best card out of both these, in my opinion, is Shopworn Ball. It is definitely more mid-range control because you're trying to get the consistency of your deck. However, it's more of the harder card to play because if you're not good at managing your resources, you can draw a card with Shopworn Ball and you have to discard it. If you don't have any cards in hand to discard or swap with, it cannot be the best card to play. So I kind of cheated there. I kind of given you 3, but we're going to go with that. Don't worry. Just see it as bonus picks. Simple as that, guys. And the final card we're going to recommend here is Wings of Abaddon. Now, people might be going, why aren't you recommending Magmatar? Magmatar, you get off the story. Everyone has Magmatar anyway, so that's why I've not recommended Magmatar. Wings of Abaddon is an incredibly good card. You might go, where's this 4/1? It has really low health. Why is it good? Let me tell you, people. So, even without using its ability, Rush Overrun. You play this card, you can instantly swing with it. It's spot removal. By that I mean they've got a 4/4 unit on the board. You can play this, you can remove the 4/4 unit. The threat's gone straight away. No issue, okay? Has Overrun. So let's say they've got a 2/2 on the board you want to remove. 2 damage not done to the minion will go through to face damage. Then we look at the ability. Sacrifice 1 of your other minions and get Immortal to the end of your turn. What does Immortal do, my people? Well, Immortal cannot be damaged and is immune to destroy effects. Destroy effects, meaning that you destroy a card has deadly. I do damage to a card that has deadly. Doesn't go off. It's immortal. I do damage to a 6-cost card. Doesn't die because it has immortal. It can't take damage. And yes, I'd sacrifice a minion, but if you've got a minion that's going to die next turn anyway, let's say to Blight, play this, just destroy it, give it immune, remove a card, it stays on the board. It's such a good card. It can be a very good aggro card in terms of you can drop it down, you can even throw something like Impel on it, so it goes to 5 damage, swing to the face. 5 damage rush to the face is nuts. It's a very good control card because you can put it down, you can remove their minions with 4/4. Sorry, if you're playing Journey of Souls, when it comes back to you, or potentially comes back to your hand, and it's a minion into Journey of Souls, it's just an incredibly good card in red. It's an incredibly good card for mid-range, for aggro, and for control. It's just so good. Wings of Abaddon, get it. It's probably my top pick for red rares, in my opinion. Moving on to green, people. Now, green, as people may know, is my favourite colour. I love green. And the first card we're going to go to is one of the best rares in the game, in my opinion, Born Again. And wait to go, it's just a 2/1. What's so good about 2/1? Return to hand from the Boneyard at the end of your turn. Unless this card is banished, guys, it doesn't go away. It just goes to the graveyard, comes back, graveyard, comes back, graveyard, comes back. Now, this is great for 2 reasons. One, it's very good for chump blockers. So if you just throw it on the board, it gets killed, end of your turn, it comes back. Throw it on the board, gets killed, comes back. It also means you always have cards. Like, I've had this card out turn 2, played it through to like turn 6 almost every turn, and then I've been able to burn it because I had a late game spare card. I'm like, oh, I don't need this now. I can burn this card now. You can also be very good in decks like Reanimate, where you play cards that have to discard cards, or cards where you have to bin a card off to then draw a card. This card can't. You discard it, and it comes back to your hand next turn. You're getting a free discard. If you're playing something like Baku, a card we're going to look at later, it says discard a card. Your opponent swings at you, discard a card. I'll just get rid of Born Again because I know I'm going to get it back. It's a very, very, very good card, and it synergizes in green very well. Next, we're going to go through again the mid-range ones. I was between two cards here, really. I was between Leshy Green and Academy Analyst. I've chose Academy Analyst because it has one of the best keywords in the game, and that is Dividation. Dividation in this game, guys, is so good. So important, so good. So she comes out 1 strength, 4 health, and she costs 3 mana, but she's only 1 gem, so you can play her quite easy in a tricolour deck. Definitely in a duo deck. Now she's Lurker, so you play an extra another minion. They have to remove the other minion before they can attack her. Now, you get 1 charge every time you play a spell. There are a lot of spells in green, so you're playing her, chances are you're playing another spell. Now she comes out of 1 charge anyway. Dividation 4. That means you look at the top 4 cards of your deck and you can choose which one you're going to draw next. It's huge for mid-game. Mid-game, so like turn 3 to turn 5, you can choose what card you're going to draw next. You can set up your mid-game. Well, I'm going to take this 5-drop out, so I'm playing on curve. It's such an important card. It's such an important mechanic, Dividation. It's the reason Academy Analyst was just pipped over Leshy Green. Leshy Green's great. Like, if you don't know what this card does, basically, it comes out for 1/1 based on every minion on the board, including itself. So there's 4 minions on the board, it comes out 5/5. 4 minions, plus itself, 5/5. Leshy Green's a great general green card. Academy Analyst will up your green game because it will allow you to choose what you're going to play mid-game, especially potentially what you're going to play late game, which is very, very important. You're not going to draw the dud cards or the dud spells that you don't necessarily need or want. Now moving on to the final green card we're going to recommend. This will really up your green game. Now, I was tempted to go for something like Idric Beast because it's just a big unit if you're playing ramp, but we're going to go with Board Mounting. Now, Board Mounting is not the easiest card to learn to play, but I definitely, if you want to play green, it's a card I strongly recommend you check out as quick as possible. Board Mountain, it's an enchantment. Now, while occupied, all your spells are reduced by 1 mana cost. That on its own is so important. Think about Bella we looked at last video. Add them together, they do stack. It means spells that cost 2 power don't cost anything now, or 2 mana don't cost anything. They just cost a gem cost. It's crazy good. Occupy Minion has, so you can spend 2 mana to return a spell from your Boneyard to your hand. That is honestly one of the best mechanics in this game. I'm not even kidding. If you look at the spells that we have in green, these are, if we actually turn off rare now and go to our spells in green, we have something like Traitorous Murmur. We can play it twice with Bald Mountain, okay? We have insanely good cards like Raid the Tombs. Raid the Tombs allows us to do card draw. Here, we can play this twice. We can play Detain and Deport twice. We can play Wake the Bones twice. We can play so many spell cards twice based off Bald Mountain. And that's why Bald Mountain is such a good card. Now, it isn't the easiest card to get used to learn. Knowing when to use the ability, what cards to pull back, takes time. But it's a card that if you want to play green, if you want to play green splash with something, if you want to play mono green, it's definitely a card I recommend you get your head around as early as possible. It's a great, great, great card. And I've lost games to this card. Like, they just managed to pull cards back, pulled Raider Toons back, and they've managed to get back up to like 8 cards in hand, and I've got 2. And I'm like, I've lost this game. There's nothing I can do. Like, this card is a genuine game-winning card when it comes off well. Okay, moving on to Orange. Orange probably has some of the best, flat out, some of the best rares in the game. I've said that quite a lot, but like Blue has one of the best rares in the game. Orange has probably 2 of the best rares in the game. I'm not even kidding. Now, Ghoul, we're going to kick off with first, is a very good card. There are other rares you may be tempted to. Some people like Dark Passage. Passenger, I don't mind Dark Passenger. Ghoul is a great card because it's a 2/3, which is cool. You can heal it by banishing a minion from any Boneyard and it fully heals. Now why this is great is because it techs against 2 pathways. It techs against firstly Journey of Souls. Let's say they bin a card off to get it in the graveyard in the Boneyard, so then they can get it back with Journey of Souls. And you're like, what do you know? I reckon they want that bottom card really badly from Journey of Souls. I'm just going to banish it, and now they're going to draw back the card they don't want, which is going to be useless late game. Also against Reanimate, if they're playing Discus Arcadia, you can just banish their big units from the graveyard. It's gone, like the Boneyard. Yep. Oh, did you need that big 12/12 Living Mountain? Sorry, dude. Gone. Banished from the game. Kind of clap your fingers together and just laugh like viciously. That's just weird. Back to cards. But anyway, Ghoul is a very, very good card. It's a 2-drop card. It costs one orange. So if you're playing duo colours, you can get it out turn 2 really easily. It keeps healing itself. You throw some buffs on it as well. It gets nuts. It's a very, very good card. It techs. It's solid. It's strong. It can have good sustainability. It's just a good card. Next up, we're going to go with I would argue up there with Thunderclap with being the best rare in the game, and that is Perry at the Gates. Perry at the Gates is mind-blowingly good. So you might go, it's just a 2/2 for 4 mana. Yes, but just read the ability, guys. Awaken, so when you play her, draw a card. Well, that's pretty good anyway. Having a 2/2 on the board and drawing a card is pretty good anyway. Then, not only do I get to draw another card, I get to look at the top 2 cards in my deck and choose which one I draw. It's so good. Playing this card on curve, either in a duo card deck or a mono orange deck, on turn 4, yeah, I'm only getting a 2/2. I'm drawing 2 cards and I'm setting up mid to late game with the dividation. It's mind-blowingly good, guys. This card is bonkers good. If you want to play orange, you have to play Perry at the Gates. There's no arguing about it, okay? Play Perry at the Gates, guys. It's a petition. Starting now. Play Perry at the Gates. Just pause this video and go craft Perry at the Gates. It's insanely good. I've won games with this card because I'm playing a blue Valkyrie deck. Valkyrie burns through their hand very quickly if they don't find Brainstorm. They're down to 3 cards in hand by turn 4. I go, cool, I'm just going to drop Perry at the Gates. I'm now back to 7 cards in hand. Oh, you're going to go to 2 cards in hand next turn. This is awkward because I now have a massive card advantage. And due to my orange tokens, I still have a pretty good board control as well. This card is nuts. Bonkers. Go craft it. Enough of that. And the next one, I can't remember if you get this in the starter packs or not, but I'm going to recommend it because it's, again, one of the best rares in the game. And that is Temptation. Now, the Temptation, if you played in Closed Alpha, did have a slight change to its ability in terms of mana cost. So you can now take control of a minion with a mana cost of 5 or less. Now, remember, guys, this is mana cost, not strength. So if they have an 8/8 on the board that's been buffed up to an 8/8. Let's say Kara's got to like 9/8 strength power. You don't have to. I've seen people not play it because they're like, oh, it's 5. I can't. She's now 9/8. It's mana cost. Kara costs 4 mana. You can still play it, okay? Now, do remember its side effect. So you can play, basically what it does, it steals the card on your side, it gives it rush, so you can swing to the face straight away. But then, if the minion lives, it does go back to the hand, and it's reduced its mana cost by 4 permanently. So you're playing it on a 4-cost card, they can now play that card next turn with 0 mana cost. They only have to spend the gems. Where this is best is creating openings. So let's say you've got a minion in lane 7, and they've got minions in lane 5 and 6. Now, the minion in lane 6 is blocking your minion in lane 7. But if the minions in 5 and 6 would trade, hopefully you're with me here, would trade, let's say they're both 3/3s, my recommendation would be to Temptation the minion in lane 6, to then trade in with the minion in lane 7. Now, the minion that I've just traded in with means it can't go back to your opponent's hand. I've cleared 2 minions from their side. There's nothing that can go back to their hand. And I've opened up a breach opportunity with my minion in lane 7. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. So using it to trade in and kill their opponent, like trade cards against each other so they both die, is very, very good. Be mindful if they are playing Journey of Souls, both minions will go to their Journey of Souls. So you could set them up to draw a card back, potentially. But yeah, very, very, very good orange. And wrapping us up is purple. Now, purple are slightly more expensive for my picks. I know a lot of people like Hoarding Hero. And I chuckle because this card is a bit jokey. Every time you put an item on it, it gets 2/2. The only reason I'm not recommending Hoarding Hero here, guys, is because there's a lot of tech against Hoarding Hero. For those who don't know, anytime a minion is pushed back to your hand, and there are a lot of cards in this game that push minions back to your hand, they lose all items. So any item you put on this, let's say you put 4 items on it to get it up to a 9/9 with life tap and overrun and God knows whatever else, all the items will go. It will just go back and jam with 1/1 and you've lost all the items. The only reason I'm not recommending something like Hoarding Hero. But anyway, first kicking off with probably potentially my favourite card in the game, I'm not even kidding, is Pentacle of Flavors. Pentacle of Flavors is crazy good in any mid-range or ramp deck. Like anything that has like a long game, this card can go off. Just go off. It's nuts. I play this in most mid-range deck where I splash purple. Now, give a minion 1 armor, 2 focus, 3 regen, Slayer 4, Blast 5. It's nuts, okay? I often combine this card with something like, if I turn this off now, Shinobi of the Wind. So Shinobi of the Wind, for those who don't know, is when it has breach, it does 2 damage to anyone. Now it has teleport, so I can use Impel as a power to move Shinobi of the Wind anywhere. Now I don't move it, I move it to a place where I can swing across next to a minion, because the reason why I swing next to a minion without attacking a minion with Pentacle of Flavors on there is purely because it has Blast 5. So I'm basically with the Shinobi Wind, I'm already doing 2 damage. I'm then getting to ping another minion for 2, but I'm then removing a minion with Blast 5. I know you're probably thinking, this makes no sense. Just trust me, okay? This card is nuts, bonkers crazy. The armor is good on its own. Regen 3 is nuts. So you put this on a big unit and they can't remove it. The Regen 3 means it's crazy. I put this on Short Stag quite a lot. And I swing a Short Stag, it can only take 3 damage. Then it regens to 3. The only way they can remove it is spot removal on that one minion. They can't remove it by damage unless they play a big unit themselves, obviously, and they swing 3 or 4 times in one turn. But otherwise, it's just not going anywhere. It's such a good card, especially in mid-range decks. Next up, we're going to cross to Spirit Away. This is more of a control card. It's an expensive card. It's 5 mana. It does cost 3 purple gems, so you want to play it on curve or close to curve. You do need to be playing probably duo color. I wouldn't recommend it in a tri-color deck. Now, this transforms your minion into a 0/3 hollow and shuffles it back into the deck, removing all of its abilities. This is one of the best spot removals in the game. It's not technically removal because it doesn't destroy the card, but it's actually, in my opinion, better because if they're playing Journey of Souls, it doesn't add into that. Now, if they draw this card, guys, they have to play it. They can't burn this card. It comes out as 0/3, so it's a chump blocking card. Playing a 0/3 late game is devastating. You don't, okay, it's a free play, but it means it's a card draw. They have to draw this card. So if they're only drawing a card each turn and they draw this late game, it is devastating for them, okay? Now, this is... It's crazy. It works on Warded as well, guys, because it's not taking damage. Warded cannot take damage outside of combat. This isn't damage. It's transforming it into... It's any card. It's not mana cost. Transform an enemy minion into a 0/3. It is just hands down one of the best spot removals, or however you want to deal with it, spot transformations in the game. It's crazy good. Definitely recommend you check it out if you want to play purple, duo purple, or mono purple. And finishing up with this, or almost finishing up the list, is Baku Bogeyman. Now this card is expensive, but it's incredibly good. It's too good. I can't recommend on this list. It's good in mid-range decks. It's good in reanimate decks. It's good in ramp decks. It's just a very, very good card. It's 7 mana, 2 blue, 2 purple gems, unsuppressible. So they can't take away this card's abilities. Okay, they can't stop it at all. Okay, when your opponent discards, so basically when you play it, you both have to discard a card. Now I played this in a purple green deck. Now if you go back to Born Again, the card that at the end of your turn return from Boneyard to your hand, I often play Baku Bogeyman, discard Born Again, and it comes back to my hand next turn. I've not discarded a card. However, my opponent has had to discard a card. If they only have 1 card in hand, it is so troll. It's just going, yeah, bye, see you later. That could be the big finish. That could be Armageddon Angel. They're going, cool, next turn I'm going to wipe the board with Armageddon. Oh. Okay, I have to discard that card now. Great. How do I win this game now? It's incredibly good. Even better, the minion in the opposing lane is suppressed, meaning all abilities, buffs and debuffs are gone. Okay? It can still swing, it can still attack, so remember that. However, it hasn't got any abilities. If they're playing a hoarding hero and they've got loads of items on it, nah, it's back to a 1-1. Simple as that. It's such a good card. I mean, the artwork's pretty creepy on it as well, but it's just such a good card. I definitely recommend it. And as we like to do, there are only 3 duo color rares in Mythgard at the moment, and I'm only going to recommend one of them. The others are fine, like Canine Cavalry. I've played it once. It's fine. I've not played Dissonant Drone, so I can't comment on it, but its ability's fine. It could work in a yellow red control deck. Plague Maidens though, my god, this card is infuriating. I've lost several games this card where they've just used its ability. So it's Lurker, it's regen, it comes out no strike, no damage, free health. Spend 1 mana. Deal 1 damage to all minions and players. No word of a lie. I've had it when they've been like 10 health. I've been at 5 health. They've had this card on the board from the previous turn. Rather than playing cards, they just pinged the main ability 5 times and I've died. There's nothing I can do about it. It just goes, yep, ping, ping, ping. And it removes your minions. Like if they have... So it does damage itself as well. Remember that, guys. It does damage itself, okay? So obviously 5 times they've had buffs on the card. But if you ping it 3 times, it will kill itself. It regens 1 though. So if you ping it once each turn, it regens back itself every turn. Also, little side note, it's green, yellow. Green has a lot of witches, so it has witch synergy. And then yellow does have 1 witch, I believe. But it can play with witch synergy as well. Out of the duo cost cards, it's definitely, in my opinion, the best rare on offer. But anyway, that's the video, guys. That is my must craft rares, or my top picks for crafting rare cards. Hopefully it helps you out. It's great to see more players getting into the game. It's great to see people commenting on videos and saying, thanks for the video, buddy. Like, you're helping me out with crafting stuff. And that's what I'm here to do. And not just me, anyone from the Team Rankstar community or the Mythgard community in general. They want to help new players out. I'm relatively new myself. I've only been in the game for like 2 months. But I've played a lot of the game in that 2 months, and I feel like I now have a pretty good grasp on what cards I want to be playing and what cards I'd recommend, especially to new players. So guys, if the video did help you, then just let me know in the comments below. And if you any other new to Mythgard videos you're like, do you know what, I really want a video on this or that, then just let me know in the comments below. The plan for the next couple is, the next one we're doing is must craft commons and uncommons, because it just makes sense. And then the one after that is we're going to do a video on lane placement. How to place minions in lanes. Wide lane placement is really important. But guys, thank you so much for stopping by the video. Now, if you are a new player, then you must check out Team Rankstar's new player guide. It's linked in the description below. Now, yes, I'm biased because I'm from Team Rankstar, guys. But I'm not like sponsored by them, whatever you want to call it. They're just my team members. I have to say, it's the most comprehensive getting started guide I've ever seen. It helped me out a lot. Even someone who put 100 hours at the time and then went and read that guide, it taught me about lane placement. It taught me so much stuff about like sequence of play, and it's really, really good guide. I definitely recommend checking it out. It is in the description below. And if you want to see me over on Twitch, guys, the link to my description, the link to my channel is in the description below as well. I stream throughout the week. I only stream Mythgard. We listen to 80s music. We have fun. We chill out. We drink beer. We have shots on Friday nights. And we play Mythgard. It's just a good, all-around good fun time. Check out the link to What's Up Woody over on Twitch below if you want to. One last final plug, guys. I did feature on the most recent episode of the Boneyard, which is the only Mythgard podcast, making it clearly the best Mythgard podcast available now. If you want to see that, where I chat to Marfius and Flake, the co-hosts, about the current metas, about the how free to play the game is, then make sure you check that out. I'll throw a link to the description in the description below. Anyway, you know what I mean. There's all these links, guys. You guys are being treated. But anyway, that's enough of that. Enough of our closeout. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Until next time, have a great day, morning, evening, whatever it is, where you guys are. Stay good, be amazing. Goodbye.